My name is Meredith Hale. I was 33. And on my wedding day, I learned a locked door can destroy a family, or reveal one. I pulled into the estate at 2:30 on a Saturday. White peonies in my hands. A dress I saved 11 months for. The parking lot was empty. The doors were chained. A groundskeeper hosed the steps like it was any other day. "Excuse me. There's a wedding here at 4. He didn't even look up. "No, ma'am. That booking was cancelled 3 days ago. 200 guests were already on the road." And the woman whose name was on that contract? My future mother-in-law. What I did in the next 90 minutes made the 6 o'clock news. Stay with me. You need to see how this started. If a family member ever made you feel small for what you didn't have on paper, this one's for you. I grew up in a rented house. My mom worked doubles at a diner. My dad chased schemes that never stuck. I got into college. First in my family. Then my mom got sick. Stage 3. 12 days after my 20th birthday, she was gone. I never went back to school. I answered an ad instead. Event coordinator. $14.50 an hour. Within 10 years, I was running operations for 11 venues. No degree on the wall. Just a scuffed green binder I carried everywhere. My team called it the playbook. My future mother-in-law would call it something else. She had a name for me too. And I heard it before she ever said it to my face. I met Ethan on a job site. Calm. Quiet. The kind of man who listens. His family was old money. Quiet money. His mother, Vivian, ran the country club board. His sister, Bree, ran her mouth on Instagram. At our engagement dinner, I brought my binder. Vivian smirked. "Is that your little homework folder?" Later, by the bar, I heard her. "Not meant for me. But sound carries on marble floors. She plans parties. She doesn't belong at one." I didn't flinch. I went back to the table. I laughed at the boat story. I told myself outlasting people was easier than proving them wrong. I was about to learn how wrong that was. My father found a new family to belong to. Roger gave him easy money and a reason to wear a collared shirt. Every Sunday call became a Vivian update. "Never how are you, Meredith?" 3 months before the wedding, Vivian made an offer. "Let me book the venue. My gift to you." The deposit was $18,000. I paid my half. She took control of the account. "You coordinate events for a living," she laughed. "Take a weekend off." I let her. That decision would cost me everything I thought I could trust. Because 3 days before my wedding, the messages stopped. And silence is never good news. The week of the wedding, I emailed the venue twice. No answer. I called. A stranger picked up. "All communication is routed through Mrs. Calloway now." I texted Vivian directly. 40 minutes later, "All confirmed, sweetheart. Stop worrying." It was specific enough to work. I had 100 other fires to put out. So I let it go. My rule at work was simple: never trust a room until you've stood in it. On my own wedding day, I broke that rule. I went to bed the night before with an empty inbox. And a bad feeling I chose to ignore. Saturday. 6 a.m. Coffee brewing. Dress on. Bouquet in hand. By 2 p.m. my gut wouldn't quiet down. I drove to the venue early, just to check. That's where part 1 left us. Chained doors. A laminated notice. Silence. I called the office myself, not the wedding line, my own work contact. The Calloway Hill event was cancelled 3 days ago. By the contract holder. Mrs. Vivian Calloway. The refund had already hit her card. $14,000. 9 of it was mine. She cancelled my wedding. And kept the money. 200 guests were still coming. And I had 90 minutes to decide who I was going to be. I didn't cry. I didn't sit down. I set the peonies on the hood of my car and I got to work. I called every vendor myself. I called a backup venue I'd used for corporate events, one that owed me a favor. I called the caterer already loading her van. Change of address. Same time. I called my father last. Vivian cancelled the wedding and kept the deposit. Silence. Then, quietly, what do you need me to do? For the first time in 13 years, he asked the right question. By 3:45, 200 guests were driving to a new address. By 4:15, I was standing under a different arch. Ethan never even knew there'd been a storm, until I told him myself, right before he walked down the aisle. Here's what Vivian didn't know. I ran operations for 11 venues in that county. I had relationships she couldn't buy and couldn't cancel. 6 weeks later, I filed a civil claim for the $9,000. And won it, with the venue's own records as proof. Vivian never apologized. She didn't have to. Because at Thanksgiving that year, when she reached for the seating chart, Ethan said one sentence that ended it. Mom, Meredith doesn't need your permission for anything anymore. The people who call you small are usually the ones who feel threatened by how big you actually are. My binder didn't have a diploma inside it. It had 13 years of proof that I could fix anything, even a wedding, even a family. They locked a door on me once. I built my own. If someone's ever tried to shrink you down to fit their idea of enough, you don't owe them a seat at your table. Subscribe for more real stories of women who were underestimated and proved it.